Today on Inquirer, Muntinlupa Court orders the arrest of former Bureau of Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag for the death of the alleged middleman in the killing of broadcaster Percy Lapid. Head of Philippine National Police Drug Enforcement Group relieved from post amid probe on alleged cover-up. Congressman Arnie Teves confirmed to virtually attend Senate inquiry on Degamo killing, according to Senator Bato Dela Rosa. And Department of Transportation to impose stricter measures at MRT-3. Good evening. A Muntinlupa court has ordered the arrest of former Bureau of Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag and his deputy Ricardo Zulueta for the death of the alleged middleman in the killing of broadcaster Percy Lapid. Jean Mangaluz fills us in with the details live. Jean?
Yes, Neil, the Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court has ordered the arrest of former BuCor Chief Gerald Bantag and his deputy Ricardo Zulueta for the death of the Bilibid inmate with Tito Pallana Villamor or June Villamor. Villamor was the alleged middleman in the killing of broadcaster Percival Mabasa or Percy Lapid. Both Bantag and Zulueta are facing cases of murder, which is a non-bailable offense. Bantag and Zulueta are both indicted for 2 counts of murder each, for the death of Villamor and Mabasa. The murder case in connection with the death of Mabasa is pending before the Las Piñas court. To recall, Villamor was allegedly hired self-confessed gunman Joel Escorial to kill Mabasa. When Escorial was presented to the media on October 18, 2022, Villamor was declared dead days later. An independent autopsy conducted by forensic pathologist Raquel Fortune suggested that Villamor may have suffocated from a plastic bag over his head. Meanwhile, Senator Risa Hontiveros hailed the arrest order but reiterated that the Department of Justice and the National Bureau of Investigation should go after the mafia members allegedly involved in Mabasa's killing. She also urged Bantag, as a former law enforcer, to cooperate with the authorities and to do nothing to frustrate the administration of justice. That's it for me, Neil. Back to you.
That's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. Philippine National Police spokesperson Colonel Jean Fajardo says PNP Drug Enforcement Group Head Police Brigadier General Narciso Domingo has been relieved from his post. In a text message to INQUIRER.net, Fajardo confirms that Domingo was relieved as PDEG Director. Domingo was dragged into controversy after his name surfaced as one of the high-ranking police officials who allegedly tried to cover up the arrest of anti-narcotics operative Police Master Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo in October 2022. Mayo was apprehended during an anti-drug raid in Tondo, Manila, where 990 kilograms of crystal meth or shabu were seized. On Monday, Interior Secretary Benher Abalos shared the CCTV footage of Domingo and other high-ranking police officials entering an establishment where Mayo and several bags and luggage were brought. Abalos then asked 10 police officials involved, including Domingo, to go on leave. For his part, Domingo denied any cover-up, assuring the leadership that they would comply with the order. The low-pressure area, which was once tropical depression Amang, is still expected to bring rains over parts of the zone. Joining us live is Benison Estareja of Pag-asa. Benison?
Yes, good evening to you and to all our viewers. As of 3 in the afternoon, the low-pressure area, which is formerly tropical depression Amang, which dissipated this noon time, was estimated based on all available data in the vicinity of Infanta in Quezon, and it's currently bringing scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, and Camarines Norte, and that's for the next 12 hours. The nature of the rains will be light to moderate and at times heavy. That's why there are possible flash floods or landslides over those areas affected by rains from the low-pressure area. As for the rest of the country, for the next 12 hours, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. No direct effect from the low-pressure area. By tomorrow, Metro Manila, most parts of Central Luzon, as well as Cordillera Region and Cagayan Valley, will still have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms still due to the low-pressure area. while more areas in southern Luzon will have generally fair weather conditions apart from some localized thunderstorms.
So Benison, we're still expecting a rainy weather for tomorrow, particularly here in Metro Manila. Am I correct?
Yes, for Metro Manila, makulimlim pa rin po, and we're expecting some light to moderate rains, especially as early as madaling araw hanggang sa hapon po.
Hanggang kailan natin inaasahan itong maulan na panahon dito sa Metro Manila, Benison?
For Metro Manila po hanggang bukas lang, and then babalik na muli dun sa parang malatag init po natin na panahon over the weekend.
Maraming salamat, Benison. That's Pag-asa Weather Specialist Benison Estareja. Tropical Depression Amang left damage amounting to 12.34 million pesos in the agriculture sector, according to the Department of Agriculture. Amang, the first tropical cyclone of 2023, hit parts of Luzon and Visayas with strong winds and rains. The Agriculture Department says at least 1,000 farmers and fisherfolk were affected by Amang, with about 1,000 hectares of agricultural areas impacted. The production loss currently amounts to 664 metric tons, with rice being the majority of the crops that were affected. The DA says that there would be a quick response fund for affected areas, but did not specify how much it would be. The agency, however, says that it has a loan program for the Agricultural Credit Policy Council, wherein farmers can loan up to 25,000 pesos payable in 3 years with no interest. Other interventions from the DA include the distribution of different seeds, drugs, and biologics for livestock and poultry and fish fingerlings. The Philippine Coast Guard says it recovered the body of the last missing passenger in the Basilan ferry fire in the vicinity waters of Haji Muhammad Ajul in Basilan, bringing the total death toll to 33. According to the Philippine Coast Guard, the victim was identified as Private First Class Marion Malda, one of the Philippine Army personnel on board the ship when it caught fire. The PCG says that Malda is the 33rd passenger who died in the said fire. Only 216 survived out of the 249 total riders. MV Lady Mary Joy 3 was on the way to Sulu from Zamboanga when it burst into flames on the night of March 29. A faulty electrical wiring is said to be the possible cause of the fire. Next on Inquirer today, Congressman Arnie Teves confirmed to virtually attend Senate inquiry on Degamo killing, according to Senator Bato Dela Rosa. China cries foul over joint statement of the Philippines and the United States on the issue of West Philippine Sea. And Department of Transportation to impose stricter measures at MRT-3. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
Losing a fur baby may be one of the most painful moments for a fur parent. To ease the grieving process, a toy maker found a way to immortalize the memory of beloved animal friends.
My name is David Tan, and I'm the founder and CEO of Whangarei, based here in Pampanga, Philippines.
In 2019, David himself experienced the grief of losing a pet. When his dog Fusion passed away,
The idea of creating plush animal clones actually came when my dog, I used to have a golden retriever, passed away. And after it passed away, I had this thought of, how can I have a remembrance of my pet? I only had pictures. Since I own a plush toy factory, why don't I try making an actual, realistic replica of my dog?
aside from his pet, one of David's motivations in being a toy maker is his newborn.
Plush toys is something that I've always had an interest in, and I have a new baby boy, and that also is an inspiration for me, because I want to make some toys for him.
David's lifelike plush clones are made from various materials. He uses different types of synthetic furs, fabrics, and other accessories to make the replicas come to life.
What we're doing is definitely not taxidermy. We don't deal with the real pet at all in any way. We're just using 100% fur that was made for teddy bears. The main difference is that we're constructing something from materials that are just fabric and accessories, whereas taxidermy, it's more involved with the actual skin of the deceased pet. So for the process of making a plush animal clone, what we do is we first get photos from our customer with a lot of different views, top, front, back, side, and even bottom, underneath the paws. So once our pattern maker sees all those details, he's able to make a paper pattern, and then once he has that pattern finished, he will put that on top of fabric, and then they're going to cut over the pattern, and they're going to cut out all the pieces of the fabric. So now what they do is they sew it into the skin of the clone, and from the skin we make the it's called a frame. What we do is we put it inside the skin, and then after that they will stuff it with the stuffing, and then sew it shut, and then the magic happens at the very end where they do the airbrushing. So they'll have a picture of the pet, and then they'll have the airbrush, and then they're going to start airbrushing all the little details of the clone until it comes to life.
For David, the solace that these plushies bring to pet owners is what pushes him to continue to improve his craft.
There was actually a video I watched where it brought tears to my eyes. It's the dog whisperer here in the Philippines, and he made this entire episode about one of his dogs that passed away. And the most touching moment of his vlog was that he brought this, his dog passed away, and he brought the clone to his other dogs, and immediately the other dogs started sniffing under his ear and licking under his ear. And what he was saying is that, wow, that's exactly what they used to do when the dog was still alive. So what's amazing about this is that what we created is something that transcends humans. Even animals are convinced that our plush animal clones are real.
Suspended Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves has confirmed his attendance for the Senate inquiry into the March 4 killing of Negros Oriental Governor Degamo, according to Senator Dela Rosa. The senator says Teves, through his secretary, has signified his commitment to attend the probe virtually. According to Dela Rosa, the panel may serve as an avenue for Teves to relay his side of the story on the killing of Degamo. The senator also says Governor Degamo's wife and Teves may be allowed to discuss, up to a certain extent, the issues involving the assassination. Dela Rosa currently heads the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, which will lead the probe set to begin on April 17. According to him, the two sides might confront each other, provided that their communication would be addressed to him as committee chair. As to how they expect Teves to behave, Dela Rosa reiterates that interparliamentary courtesy would be given to the Negros Oriental lawmaker.
Huwag lang siyang magiging unruly dahil hindi ko rin naman siya ma-cite in contempt dahil hindi man siya ma-aresto dahil nasa ibang bansa man siya. So, the most that we can do is yung i-off lang yung kanyang camera or yung kanyang telepono kung magiging unruly siya, pero I think that will not happen dahil alam kong magrerespeto siya sa committee natin.
China has decried the joint statement issued by the Philippines and the United States against Beijing's activities in the West Philippine Sea. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Wang Wenbin says they were gravely concerned over and strongly disapprove the joint statement of the U.S. and the Philippines. According to Wenbin, the U.S.-Philippine joint statement misrepresents and discredits the China's maritime activities in the South China Sea. In their joint statement, the Philippines and the U.S. urged China to fully comply with the final and legally binding 2016 arbitral award on the South China Sea. Wang, however, insisted that the arbitral award is illegal, null, and void. The Philippines has a long-standing dispute with China, which has made sweeping claims in nearly all of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea. The Department of Transportation says stricter security measures will be implemented at the Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3 in a bid to prevent passengers from jumping or falling on its railway tracks. DOTr Assistant Secretary for Railways and MRT3 Officer in Charge Georgette Aquino says the installation of platform screen doors is being proposed to serve as barriers. This comes after a female passenger on Wednesday jumped onto the rail track. The 73-year-old passenger later died in the hospital. According to Aquino, the DOTr MRT3 has been proposing the installation of platform barriers, but it was never adopted due to budgetary constraints. In the meantime, Aquino says station personnel and security will be instructed to implement strict measures in order to prevent the passengers from crossing the yellow marker in the platforms while the trains have not yet come to a full stop. A social weather station survey shows only a little over half of Filipino families have access to running and piped water. According to SWS, only 67% have running water, which is equivalent to around 17 million Filipino households. 58% said that their water consumption was billed, while 9% said that it was not. The SWS survey showed that 320 pesos was the median expense per month for the 58% of billed consumers. Meanwhile, the monthly expense for the 90% non-billed cost consumers averaged at 300 pesos. It can be recalled that National Water Resources Board Executive Director Dr. Sevilio David Jr. earlier said that around 11 million Filipino families have no access to clean water and are forced to use unsafe water from deep wells, springs, rivers, and lakes, as well as rainwater. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Hindi pa taken ang kapamilya actor na si JM De Guzman pero diretsahan niyang inamin na meron siyang kinaadikan ngayong isang female celebrity. Ayon sa binata, may isang babaeng taga-showbiz na nililigawan niya ngayon at isang taon na raw niya itong sinusuyo pero hindi pa rin daw siya sumusuko. Inamin ng magaling na aktor na in love siya ngayon sa isang personalidad pero nang tanungin namin kung sino ito, ang tanging naisagot niya ay secret. Sabay ngiti ng pagkatamis-tamis. Nang banggitin kung vlogger ba ito, biglang natawa si JM at medyo namula. Sa question namin kung todo pa rin siya kung magmahal at handang ibigay ang lahat-lahat, sinabi niyang nagtitira pa rin siya para sa kanyang sarili. Pinapagana na rin daw niya ngayon ang kanyang utak at hindi lang ang puso. Sa pagkakaalam namin, may isang vlogger na naliling kay JM. Yan ay walang iba kundi si Donalyn Bartolome. At ilang beses na rin niyang inamin na may feelings talaga siya sa actress at content creator. Paano niya i-rate ang nararamdaman niyang kaligayahan ngayon from scale of 1 to 10? 10 ang mabilis na sagot ni JM. Ibig sabihin, perfect na perfect talaga ang happiness niya.
Time lang talaga. Pero ngayon, in love ko.
Kanino kind love?
Secret.
Showbiz na showbiz.
Showbiz.
Oh, hindi ka na hindi ka na.
Vlogger.
Pero daron ka pa rin JM pagdating sa parang to give my all pa rin. Or may
Siyempre, may tira na rin po sa sarili. Dati wala eh. Pero ngayon, pinapagana na yung utak.
JM, gano'n ka kasaya from 1 to 10?
10, sorry.
Wow!
Perfect
Make it 11.
talaga.
Make
Wow.
it 11.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Irvin. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer today live weekdays, 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.